How well prepared is your agency or your business for scaling? We have an exact scaling score calculator that guides you through the most important areas and gives you a score from 0 to 100 if your business is ready for scaling, so it can run even without you as the owner like a well-oiled machine. Let's dive right into it. All right, let's dive right into our company checkup score template. This is inspired by the great book Attraction and the guys at EOS. Very good guys in terms of analyzing the current state of your company. And this template will help you to see how well your company is prepared for scale and that it's able to run like a well-oiled machine even without you as the owner. So we're going to go through 20 questions here and you're going to rate them from 1 to 5, how weak that is or how strong that is right now inside your company. And then at the end, you're going to get a score by taking the total number, doing that times 5, and you get a score from 1 to 100. The best would be, of course, to have all of these in here. Then you have 20 points in here. 20 times 5 would be 100, right? So that would be the highest score, 0 to 100. So let's go through it and why it is important. The biggest mistake we see that companies make when they want to scale is that they don't have a clear vision in writing that has been properly communicated and shared by everyone in the company. Especially, if you're not anymore from the ground up and you just need to make money. Like this clear vision that then instills what are the goals that we're trying to hit in the company that is missing for so many teams. They don't even know what they're working for. And that's why it's so important to have a clear vision, to have clear core values, a clear core focus, and a clear long-term target. Why? Because this vision where the business is heading, that they're wanting to make money, that they're wanting to grow, is also what attracts A players in your team. Not just people, like that think in terms of the next month, and businesses that just, short-term, quick buck types of businesses, but businesses that actually want to scale and have a long-term vision. And so that has to be properly communicated and shared by everyone in the company. Second one is core values are clear. And that is so important that you are hiring, reviewing, rewarding, and firing around them. Meaning you are very clear on what are the types of behaviors we want our people to represent, to regularly show, and what are the core values that represent these behaviors? How do we make sure that we're actually in the hiring process embodying these core values, so we're selecting accordingly, we're reviewing people's performance, we're rewarding them, and we even fire if people don't live in line with these behavioral values, core values that we expect. The other thing is the core focus, and that is very important. Some businesses, they do too many things, don't have a clear focus, don't have a clear niche. And then also, the operations are all over the place because you do too many things. If you have that clear core focus, the core business strategy and niche very clear, and you keep your people, the systems and processes aligned and focus on it, 100% key, super important. Okay, so you can streamline the operations. You become an expert in your core focus field, and that also needs to be streamlined and then properly documented for people, systems, and processes. Then we talked about the 10-year target, long-range business goal. Where do you want to head? For some businesses, it makes more sense to talk about 3 to 5 years, right, and have a big revenue goal there. But the big question is kind of, what is a big number that is inspiring that you want to scale to, the money you want to make or the impact you want to have? And then also it's super important, the basics here, what is the clear target market, definition of ideal customer? Do you have that properly defined? Is all your marketing and sales efforts focused on it? Same thing, this is a thing we see a lot of people struggle with, especially in the agency space, even in e-com, that there's not really communicated what sets you apart, right? They're called the 3 uniques, your key 3 differentiators, almost your unique selling proposition. What makes you different? There's so many agencies out there, right? What makes you different? And is that clearly communicated in the marketing and sales? And not just saying stuff like, yeah, we care a lot, or, no, but what your expertise, your track record, your clients, what makes you different from others, your specialization, and so on. Then similar to that is like, what is the proven process of how you give your clients results, or how the product, the sales you're doing, how you're doing business with your customers? Is that visually represented, named, so you can create a unique mechanism, a unique proprietary process that sets you again apart and is also allowing you to sell your product or service better. And then this is about all the right people in the organization. Are this the right people? So do they both fit the culture and share your core values? That's why it's so key to define the culture, the values at the beginning, and have a clear vision of where the company is heading. Are the right people in place? Meaning, are those people that live in line with those vision and those values, the behaviors that they're showing? Is that the right people fit? And then do you have an accountability chart where it's clear what everybody's responsibility is inside the company? And that is also constantly updated, as everybody who comes in knows, okay, this is what I'm responsible for. This is how it relates to other roles. So it's very clear. And then the final piece here is everyone in the right seat? So we talked about the right people, that's culturally and values wise. But then we also talk about the right seat. You can have someone who's a good person culturally for your company, but they might not be in the right position. They might not get it or want that position, or have the capacity to do the job of that position well. These are the three things: GWC, get it, want it, capacity. We have also separate training on this, how to analyze this for your team. And then from the leadership team, is the leadership team open, honest? Does it demonstrate a high level of trust, of ownership, or is it controlling too much? Do you have difficulty delegating, difficulty instilling ownership in the team? If that's happening, then we have an issue here, because that's super important. If you want to do everything, you're not going to scale. You need to be able to instill that ownership, that trust, and that, delegation also into the team. Then this is already now in terms of prioritization. Do you break down these targets that you set for yourself for 3 years, 5 years, 1 year into rocks? And these are the priorities per quarter. And so you break down the goals into big rocks for every quarter that have to be worked on. And are those then also distributed in the team and leadership team, so everybody has clear responsibilities, what rock to complete, and therefore which goals to hit in line with that? Do you have regular weekly meetings that are efficient, not where you're wasting a lot of time, and which could also be just a Loom video, but weekly meetings that are specialized to build culture on a team, on a whole team and leadership basis, but also on a basis per department to talk about the most important topics. Then are all the meetings on the same day, same time each week, have the same agenda, start on time and end on time? These are the key things to keep in mind. We also have a specialized meeting training if you want that, but same agenda, start on time and end on time. Super important. Most people don't even have a clear agenda, and then they go overboard and don't even know what they're talking about. And then also, did you not go overboard in all the other calls? Get, shift out. You feel super rushed, don't have time for a break, and then you're super stressed. Then do you clearly identify, discuss, and solve issues for the long-term greater good of the company? By that it is defined, do you have what is called a issues list, where you're collecting long-term issues, but also medium and short-term issues, regularly collecting them, and then in those meetings setting out to find solutions for them or delegating them. Then this is about processes. Are all your processes documented, simplified, and followed by all to produce the results we want? This is a very deep question, because we see a lot of people, especially the owners, they know things better, or they think they know things better than the team, but they don't have their thinking process, how they set goals, how they would solve issues. They don't have it documented even. They don't even have it documented. So that's already an EQ issue. Then once they have something documented, it's either super complex, nobody follows it because it's too complex. Then this is the key. The processes you do have, are they simple to follow? And then even if they're simple, do people have access to them? So it's easy. And even if they have access, do they actually follow them? So instead of just always asking someone how it's done, even though it's clearly documented, right? So very deep question here, very big issue for many people. And then obviously, do you have systems in place for customer satisfaction, for feedback consistently? So you always know the level of the customers or the clients that you're working with. Super important to regularly get that feedback in, so you will see where to improve and what you can do better. And then this is one which is also super neglected. Do you have a scorecard for tracking weekly metrics and measurables in place? And this is where you have weekly metrics. For example, these are KPIs which are important for your goals. So let's say you set an OKR, an objective and key result where you want to improve something in your business. Do you track regularly the necessary KPIs that you need to take care of to hit these OKRs, to hit your goals? And usually it's recurring activities that your team has to do. So actually done, not done, tracking what they have to do and how much of it they have done. And the other thing is actually tracking, those lagging and leading KPIs, where they on a weekly basis need to monitor something that's a result of their activity, of their input, and that is also connected to hitting the major goals, okay? So for that, you need a scorecard where everybody tracks that, and that way, only when you collect the data, you can make decisions based on data and not on emotion. And then in line with that, everyone has one number they're accountable for keeping track on each week. So think about that. Does everyone in your company have clear goals they are responsible for? And connected to that goal, they need to track one or more numbers to make sure that if this number is hit regularly, it contributes to the goal. That's absolutely key. And then obviously, do you have control over your finances monthly and quarterly? Regularly check it, the budgeting of it. Super important. So as you can see, we talk about vision, we talk about systems, processes, we talk about people, leadership, culture, as well as data tracking, as well as finances. If you check that out and you rate that here, this gives you a room for improvement. Nobody is usually at 100%. Every business can still improve. But that should give you a field of where you feel like you have the biggest room for improvement right now. And then if you want, let us know, and we can see if we have more trainings for any of these specific areas, and we can hook you up with that as well.
As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want this SOP, then comment SOP below, and then we will hook you up with this SOP or any other SOP that might be helpful for scaling. And if you want any help with scaling your agency or your business to over 100K per month, to 7 and then to 8 figures, without spending too much time in the operations yourself, so you can scale the most efficient way possible, then we can help. Go to kilianmarkert.com and apply for a free consultation call. And anyway, we'll see you on the next video.